Hi everyone, it's Krista and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new, hi again. So this is my channel. I love to do all kinds of DIYs on a budget. I love to do a lot of Dollar Tree DIYs. I also absolutely love to do thrift flips, and I love to make wreaths. So if you like what you see here, you know what to do. Hit that red subscribe button. I would love to have you. And also leave me a comment. I love to hear what you guys think. And give me a thumbs up because it really helps my channel. You can also find me on Instagram and Pinterest, also Facebook. And I also have a wreath shop. It's an Etsy shop. It's called Krista's Wreath Designs. I love to make beautiful wreaths, and you can check that out. I will have the link down below for that as well. So today is all about our napkin exchange, and our host is Sunflowers and DIYs, and Theresa B DIY is our co-host. The person that I got my napkins from is Glitzy Stitches, and this is such a wonderful lady. Her name is Shawnee Lee, and I'm going to show you the napkins that she sent me. These are them. And what we're going to do is we're going to make projects with them, some DIYs. So I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But first, here goes my first DIY. I had one of these. I've had it for a long time now. I think I got it from Michael's. It's a little watering can that's made of wood. And then I'm also going to use those pretty napkins that Shawnee sent me. And I'm going to first start with this goldenrod paint color by, I think it is, I can't remember. It was a little bit more gold though than I wanted. It was very yellow. It was more like a mustard yellow. And I did every other one, but I do end up sanding it a little bit to kind of tone down the color of it, so which you'll see in a minute. But I ended up liking it in the end, so you guys will have to let me know what you think. I was trying to go for the yellow color that was in the flowers on the napkin. I wanted to make sure that it all went together real nicely, so that is what I did there. And I just did every other one because what we're going to do next is I'm going to first take off the extra ply of napkin that's underneath the first layer. And that part you don't want to have because then it won't stick. So what I did is I just put it up to my little watering can, and then I cut it to sort of fit the size so it wasn't overlapping on the water can. And you'll see I'm going to cut little strips for each section that I did not paint. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take some of my Mod Podge. This is matte Mod Podge. I get it at the Dollar Tree. And what I did is I just used my little sponge brush and I got it all down. And then what I did is I put my napkin on there and smoothed it down really, really well. And I was very careful because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to rip the napkin, of course. And I wanted to make sure, you know, that I didn't have any bubbles at the same time. So I did that for each one of those. And I just kept putting my strips up, and I just kept using the Mod Podge. Now, I also did Mod Podge on the top as well. I don't show that in the video, but I do some Mod Podge on the top as well to kind of seal it and make sure that it's not going to tear or rip or anything like that. And I just kept going with this, and I made sure that I got in between like the grooves because there's kind of like a little groove there. And then I took my finger sander, and what I did is I just started to go in a downward motion because you don't want to go up because then you're going to rip your napkin. And I made sure that it was completely dry before I did this. So make sure that your napkins are really dry. And then I went in between each crack, and I know that Hobby Lobby had these, not Hobby Lobby, I'm sorry, Michael's had these last year. Not sure if they carry them this year, but I mean, you could do this to any kind of little watering can that you have. It could be metal even. You could paint it and then put a napkin on it. And I just kept going with my little finger sander in between, and then I used my little brush to kind of brush out all those little bits and pieces of the napkin that got caught in there. And then I went around and I also distressed with my sander each part that I painted that yellow, because that yellow was really a stark yellow. But it was okay because I love yellow. Personally, my home is all about bees and lemons and springy colors like this. So it went fine with my decor. But I don't know why, for some reason on this one, it just looked like it was brighter than my other ones that I've used it on before. And then what I did is I went in between with some of my Antique Wax by Waverly to distress it. I wanted this can to look old. I wanted it to have that rustic, old, worn look to it. I love that. So I just went around each of the little edges with it, between those little cracks. And then I also did the part where the little spout comes out. And I also did the handle. And then I went in and very lightly and with a very dry brush, I went over all of the little, each yellow portion and also on the napkins. So see where you see right there. And then if I went a little too dark in some places, I just took my sander and I just sanded some of it off. Really easy. Or you could take more paint and go on too, but my sander worked just fine and I just sanded it and it kind of like all went together really nicely. So yeah, I absolutely love the way this did turn out though. I think it looks really rustic and pretty. And then I just took some flowers that I had in my stash. Some are Dollar Tree, some are all my flowers. I always get 50% off or more. And I just stuck them in the watering can. And you could change these colors around with your flowers however you want them. But here's a close-up of it. I think it turned out really cute. Let me know what you think in the comments. So like I said, this is all about our napkin exchange. What we do is we each get picked names and we have to send them a bunch of napkins and then they have to do DIYs with them. And like I said, mine is with Shani and yeah, she sent me some really pretty napkins. And I'm going to have the link to everyone's channel down below. And I'm also going to have their the playlist link down below as well. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking one of these ceramic tags that they have at the Dollar Tree. I found these. I was very surprised to see these there. And then that napkin that I got. And also what I did is I took the little jute twine off. And I'm going to, now I wanted to use this crackle medium that I have. It's supposed to leave a crackle, and it does when you use it on wood. But I thought I would try it on this tile to see if it would work, but it didn't. So I tried though. It didn't do anything wrong. It just left a nice shiny coating on the top. But anyways, what you're supposed to do is like if you had wood, you would just like paint your wood, then put the crackle medium down, and then paint again, and then let it all dry, and then it cracks. And it just makes a really cute, really cool, crackly effect. It makes it look old, and I really like that look. So what I did is I did end up finish painting it anyways, even though I didn't have to paint it. So you could actually skip this step. But what I did is I took the napkin, I took the layer off. Now I'm going to cut it to size with my little tag. And I wanted the one piece where it has the two bees and kind of has the branch going upward, like direction, I guess. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then I took some Mod Podge and I just smoothed it down over the tag. And now I'm just going to stick down my napkin. This one was really simple, super easy. I mean, you could skip all the other steps. Like, I didn't have to paint it. I was looking for that crackling effect, but it didn't work. Oh, and then I learned online that you can use saran wrap to smooth down your Mod Podge with napkins and stuff. And then your fingers won't stick or anything to it either and like rip the napkin or anything like that. So I tried it and I liked it and it worked. So then what I did is I just took my scissors and I cut it a little bit closer because I had a lot hanging off. And then all I'm going to do is come in with my finger sander again. And I'm going to sand in a downward motion, like I told you guys before. And I'm going to make sure that I smooth that all out and get all that extra napkin off of my little tag. And this one turned out really super cute. I actually have a tier tray that's all bee themed. So this is going to go on my tier tray. It turns out super cute. And I didn't show you in the beginning, but we're going to use some beads. We're going to make a tassel. We're going to make a little cute hanger on it as well. So there it is. And then what I did is, oh, I'm showing it up close. See, it didn't crackle. That kind of made me upset, but we're going to try it again on wood. And next what I did is I came in with my antique wax and I did stressed all the edges and the top a little bit. And now I'm going to take some of these raw wooden beads that I get on Amazon. I'll leave the link down below in case you're interested in getting these. And I use my Moss by Waverly. It's like a green color. And I just kind of added some water and spritz them. And then I took them out and I just wiped them with my paper towel because I wanted them to kind of have that wash look, worn look. Didn't want them to be perfect. And then I did every other one with the raw bead and then the moss color. And I think I did just like about 10 beads or something like that. 9 or 10. I can't remember. And I just put it on my little jute twine and beaded them through. And I had to wipe my hands each time because those beads were still a little wet. And I didn't want to get them on the raw bead. And I just kept stringing them through. And then what I do is I'm just going to tie it off on my little tag. And there you go. And so I just tied that on. I made a little knot in the back. And then I also kind of glued it back there just so it would stay. And then I'm going to make a little tassel for the end. And we made our little tag. Isn't that cool? I love it. And then what I did is I wrapped this around my hands, on my 4 fingers, at least 20 times. Just like that. And then I take it off. And then what I do is I just, I wrapped it around the top part, just about like not even an inch, a half an inch off the top. And then what I do is instead of tying it, because I have trouble tying with my fingers and my hands, so what I did is I just glue it. I just glue it on there and I don't tie. And then I just cut that piece off. And then I just make sure it's glued. And then I just cut all my little hoops to make my little tassel. And then I just make sure everything's nice and even. And I just give it a little haircut and trim it real nice. And then I just tie it on to my little beads. And that's it. And look at the cute tag with the beads. I love this, you guys. I put it on my tier tray right away because I just absolutely love the way this turned out. I think it turned out so super cute and rustic, and I love it. And here's a little close-up of it. Really cute. So now on to DIY number 3. Now this one, I had this old bottle that I got at the thrift store. I'm going to use some white Waverly chalk paint. I'm also going to use these little fairy lights. Yep, they're just on a wire, just showing you how they look. And then I'm going to use this little grape napkin that she sent to me. And I think it's super cute. And I thought it would go really nice on a little bottle, like antique bottle like this. So I wanted this to look really worn and antique. Okay, so what I did is I'm using one of these sponge brushes from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just doing a pouncing motion on the glass because I find that if you paint with glass with like brushes, it streaks. And I don't like that look. So what I do is I found that if you pounce with these little sponges on here, on glass, it gives it kind of a little bit of texture, and it also doesn't give you those streaks. So it makes it look more, I don't know, more smooth and nice, and I don't know, I just like the way it looks. Kind of like a spackled look, sort of. And I really like that. So now in the little nooks and crannies that I couldn't get in on the top part where the metal is, where the bottle opens, what I did is I just used this like really, it's from the Dollar Tree, one of these paint brushes, but it's a real rough brush. It's like really bristly. So I don't even know if that's a word. But anyways, what I did is I just stuck it in between and got those little cracks so that I didn't miss anything. And then that's how it looks when it's all done. So next what I did is I took the napkin and I'm only going to use the grapes, the green grapes. So what I did is I cut that section off the napkin. This way I can use the napkin for other stuff. And I took the extra ply off of the back. And then what I'm going to do now is I wanted this to kind of blend in with the color of things. So what you do is you take your paintbrush, you dip it in some water, and you just run it along the sides. This is the easiest way to make it look like really rustic and blend in with your bottle, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it, but if you run your just a thin paintbrush with some water, and you run it along as close as you want to get it, and you just kind of rip it off. And then it leaves that ripped portion, and it doesn't look so square from where I cut it either. And you just kind of like push it away, and it just comes right off. And it's super easy. I find this a lot easier than trying to cut with scissors and fussy cut this, because I think this just makes it look even better with this look. I like the frayed look on the edges. And once you get the Mod Podge down, you can't even tell. It just blends all in, and it looks super, super pretty. So now I'm just going to take it and center it on my bottle. And then I'm going to get my Mod Podge, and I'm just going to sponge that on with my little sponge. And then I'm just going to place I got hair on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that in the center of my bottle and just smooth it out the best I can. Now, if I get a little bit of like wrinkle in there, it's okay, because I'm looking for that aged look, and that just brings more character to the bottle, and I like that. So I didn't get enough Mod Podge though on the end of there, so I had to put more down. And then I just did that and smoothed it down, and did the same thing on the other side, because I made it a little bit longer than I thought, and I didn't get the Mod Podge all the way. So I just lifted up the napkin, put a little on, and then I also went on top as well, because you want to go on top because you want to make sure you seal that napkin in so that it doesn't chip or rip or anything like that. And it stays on there really nicely. And I put a generous amount, because once it dries, you don't see it. And then to make it even look more aged, oh, there it is. Isn't that pretty? You can't even tell, right, with the rip look. I took a baby wipe, and I started just like rubbing with my finger and my nail in the baby wipe, and I just made like these little, like, I don't know, worn look, I guess, to the bottle. And I did a lot of it up top where that little metal piece is. And at the top, very top of the bottle, I wanted this to look really worn, like it's been sitting around forever. And yeah, I wanted it to look really cool. And so I just did that and gave it a lot of different character. And I really love the way this turned out, you guys. This is my favorite one, I think, out of all of these. So, but you guys gotta let me know what you think in the comment section. And I just kept doing that. And then what I did is I came in with some of my steel chalk paint by Waverly, and I just kind of smudged it on the top, really dry brushed it, like made it look really old, like it was dirty kind of. I don't know, that's the look I like, you guys, but it's up to you. You do you, but this is what I like. And I did it on the metal as well. And I did on the top, and then I just went over the whole thing with my little brush, and I really, really dry brushed, and I went over the top of it, and wherever I went too much, I just came with the baby wipe, and I just wiped a little off before I dried it. And yeah, this turned out so good. I absolutely love it. So thank you, Shani, for sending me those napkins, because I love them, and I will be using them more. And then I just took my fairy lights and stuck them inside the bottle. And if I want to light up the bottle, I can. And if I don't, you don't have to. This is just an extra step that I did. And I wish I would have went a little bit lighter with the paint, but it is what it is. And I like it. So, and there it is. Lit up. And I think it came out really super cool. I love the age look to it. I just love the way it turned out, you guys. But you guys gotta let me know what you think. So on to our last DIY. This is DIY number 4. Now I didn't use all the napkins, and we didn't have to. We only had to use one set, but I ended up using 3. So now I'm gonna take this mason jar that I had in my stash that I got from the thrift store, and that napkin we're gonna use that Shawnee sent me. And I'm also going to use my plaster paint by Waverly, and I'm gonna do the same thing with my glass jar here. I'm going to dab it with my little sponge to give it a little bit of texture and make it look really a lot more smooth than normal if you used I don't know, it streaks for me when I use brushes, so I much rather use those. And then what I did is I took off that extra layer. This one was really hard to get apart. And once I did though, I cut just the strip that's in the middle with the flowers because that's the only pieces that I'm going to be using on the napkin. So I just cut that out first and got rid of those. And then I'm going to do the same technique that you saw me do with the other bottle. I'm going to use my tiny paintbrush and some water, and I'm going to separate this and make it like so it looks like it's on the jar and I didn't cut it out and put it on the jar. So what I did is I just went along the edges and cut where I wanted it to. First, I went around the whole thing and did this with the brush. And then I cut a piece off and I did a piece in the front and then a piece towards the back. But it's two different pieces of the napkin with different flowers on it because that's kind of what I wanted. So when you see it from the front or the back, you get a different look. And that's what I did for this one. And once I get that all done, then we're going to Mod Podge it on just like we did with the other ones. And this came out super cute too. I absolutely love it. That ribbon from the Dollar Tree, I'm hoping they come back out with that ribbon. That ribbon is so pretty and rustic and perfect for stuff like this. And I'm like slowly running out of it. So please bring it back, Dollar Tree. And then once I got that done, like I said, I cut the portion out that I wanted by using the paintbrush to do that. And then I cut around the flowers that I knew I wanted to have on one side of my jar. And that is the piece I put on the front part first. And all I did was put my Mod Podge down, grabbed my sponge, and just sponged it all out. And then stuck it on. And this one, I was okay with a little bit of wrinkles too from the napkin. Because it's really hard when you're doing it on a round surface like this. You're going to get a little bit of wrinkles, but that's okay. And then I just put a portion on the top of it as well of the Mod Podge just to seal it in. And then I did the same thing on the other side, only with a different part of the flower. I believed I used that middle section with the different flowers. So there's the front, and then I'm going to do another portion in the back. And I was trying to decide which way I wanted to do it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I can't put them upside down. So then I did that same thing with the water and the paintbrush and ripped it off. And now I'm going to do the same thing. Super easy, you guys. It's so simple. You could take any napkins and make such beautiful decor, you guys. I'm telling you, you guys got to check out the playlist. I'm going to have that link below. Also check out the host, the co-host, and of course, my friend who sent me these beautiful napkins. Thank you so much, Ani. I absolutely love these, and I absolutely love the way these turned out. These are totally my type of decor pieces that I love in my home. And then I just went over the top of it again. And then what I did is I came in with that beautiful ribbon that's kind of like a rustic burlap ribbon. And what I did is I just cut a piece off. And I'm just going to put that on the rim of the top part of the jar. And I just glued a little dab on the back and stuck it down. And then I just brought it around and glued it together in the back with another little bit of glue. And that was it. Now, I put flowers in this one, but you could do whatever you want. You could put in a candle and light it. I mean, it looks so pretty that way too. But I stuck some flowers in it, but I mean, I could change it up whenever I want. So I just stuck these bags in there because these are really short flowers, and it just kind of like lifts the flowers up on the top of the jar. And there you go. There it is, you guys. Isn't it so cute? I absolutely love it. So let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to check out everyone, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I love to guys join my family, and I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, remember, stay crafty. Bye.